The embattled Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has resigned. When will there be an election to replace him? And what will the future of the U.S.-Canadian relationship look like under new leadership? For answers, we turn to historian, publisher, and columnist, best known in his native Canada as the founder of the National Post newspaper and Hollinger International. Welcome back to the program, Lord Conrad Black. Conrad, thank you for being here. Before we get to Canada, I want to get your international perspective on some news that broke this week. Both President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump are taking credit for the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza on Wednesday. The deal frees 33 Israeli hostages, puts on hold the war that's raged for 15 months. Trump says the deal is a result of his win in November. Biden says the terms of the deal are what he already proposed in the spring. Who's right, Conrad?
Well, I think technically they're both right, but undoubtedly President Biden did make that proposal in the spring, but nothing was done about it until President Trump was elected. And so producing the conditions was Biden's doing, but that didn't require, with respect, a great deal of imagination. But getting it done, and getting it done now, is, as everyone, as far as I can see, the Times of Israel, the State Department spokesman have acknowledged this was Trump's doing. And it reminds everybody of the inauguration of Ronald Reagan and the hostages in Tehran. They were boarding the Algerian plane as the President Reagan was giving his inaugural address. I mean, the change, the proposal was out there starting in May. But the thing that got it done, the catalyst, obviously, is the president's election and his statement that there'd be hell to pay if the hostages were still in custody when he was inaugurated.
Yeah, and even Netanyahu came out and said it was Trump's pressure that, sort of got him to the bargaining table. Conrad, on January 6th, the resignation of embattled Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made headlines all over the world. I want to play this for you, get your reaction.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Conrad, why is Trudeau making this decision now? I mean, he's been under fire for a long time.
It's got steadily worse, though, Raymond. His position in the polls are fairly similar to President Biden's. He's trailing his opponent, the leader of the official opposition, by more than 20 points, and that's a very rare thing in this country. It's not completely unprecedented, but rare. And he's had, as you know, it's a different system here. You have to maintain the support of your members of Parliament, and right. There are ripples of discontent all around that caucus, and a number of them. It's a minority government to begin with, and the leaders of the unofficial opposition parties have said they won't support him in a confidence vote. And in addition to that, a significant number, maybe almost half, of his own party members in Parliament have said to him that he has to go, and about a quarter of them have said it publicly. So his position was really unsustainable, and he did the right thing. And if I may say it, he at least did it less tardily than President Biden did the comparable thing in your country. I mean, they do have the opportunity to have a properly organized convention and choose the person that party believes to be the best one to succeed in. Now, with that said, in this country, as again, most serious democracies, you don't normally get the same party in office for more than 10 years.
As you alluded to, the Canadian parliamentary system differs greatly from what we're used to in the United States. The Prime Minister does not have a set term. He or she has to call an election. And now the Parliament's been suspended up until March 24th. So what happens then? And how will that candidate be chosen?
There is, by the way, considerable doubt about the legality of the prorogation of Parliament for almost 3 months, just to accommodate the convenient Liberal Party. But because it's leading to an election, nobody is really doing much. time is passing and we can all wait till March 25. But at that point, the Liberal Party will have chosen a new leader. Justin Trudeau will go to the chief of state, whose title is Governor General, and tender his resignation with the recommendation that the new Liberal leader be called upon to form a government. But it is, pardon me, agreed by all of the opposition parties that they will demand an immediate election. And so the period of the election is somewhat flexible, but it would probably be approximately 6 weeks after that, so in the middle of May.
Conrad, we have a new administration, as you know, about to take the reins of power here in the United States. The president-elect has made waves of late by referring to your country as a potential 51st state and threatening 25% tariffs against Canada. What do you make of this strategy? Is this just Trumpian grandstanding, or is there something else going on here?
I wouldn't call it grandstanding, but it's it's poker playing by the author of The Art of the Deal. And he's exaggerating. If Justin actually said to him at Mar-a-Lago, if you do that, you'll completely destroy our country, then Justin should have been thrown out the window of the official residence. I mean, it wouldn't. It would be a terrible inconvenience. But Canada is a G7 country. We have a larger GDP than Russia. I mean, it is not it's not like annexing El Salvador or Puerto Rico or something. and so, it was rather cavalier of the president to refer to it that way, but he's a very amusing man, and it was a good joke, and we should. And most people in Canada don't take it personally; they think it's Donald Trump being humorous and a bit hyperbolic,
Okay, but speaking of annexing, the president has also floated the possibility of annexing Greenland. Okay, which has set the Danes' teeth to chatter. Now, there's a 1951 treaty, Lord Black, the Greenland Defense Agreement, that allows the United States to keep military bases in Greenland and to establish new bases there if necessary by NATO. Here is what Trump said recently about Greenland. I want your reaction.
We need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world.
Conrad, what is Trump's strategy here? And is there a way for the U.S. to purchase or somehow negotiate ownership of Greenland?
Well, the actual population of Greenland is closely related to the population in northern Canada and the corresponding part of Arctic Canada. And there have been some discussions between Canada and Greenland too. But I think as a matter of fact, we have to get serious, we, the Canadians and Americans, about defending the Arctic from the Russians and the Chinese. I mean, we're it's an ocean, and we're the four powers. The Chinese are muscling in from outside, but the United States, Canada, and Russia have the coastline there, and we have to assert ourselves. In this case, the U.S. and Canada should act together. As I understand it, Greenland is a great cost burden to Denmark, which is a wonderful country, but it's a country of only 5 million people. I mean, half the population of metropolitan Toronto, in which I'm sitting now, and it's a great burden to it. So I would have thought something could be done, and if need be, I think if you had a referendum of the approximately 45,000 people in Greenland, adult citizens, and you made it quite a sweet offer, I think they'd take it. And I think, by the way, it would be stronger if we took it together, Canada and the U.S. But in any case, Canada should pull its weight. It should stop being a slacker and a foot dragger in NATO. Pay its way. And we should work closely with the United States to defend the Western interest in the Arctic. And that means Greenland. And Denmark isn't a large or rich enough country to do that.
Yeah. Lord Conrad Black, always wonderful talking to you. We will leave it there. Thanks you for being here, and Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.
Right, sure. Thank you, Raymond. Good to speak with you again.